Welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited to have you here today because we're going to dive deep into something that has the potential to completely change the way you interact with others and how you view your relationships, whether it's with a partner, family, friends, or even co-workers. Relationships are fundamental to our lives. We all know that meaningful connections can bring happiness and fulfillment, but the truth is, building and maintaining those relationships can be incredibly challenging. We often find ourselves stuck in the cycle of misunderstandings, poor communication, or frustration, wondering what went wrong. And sometimes we don't even realize that the solution to these issues is right within our reach. Today, we're going to discover 5 relationship habits that will change your life. Now, I want to stress that these aren't just abstract ideas. These are tangible, actionable habits that you can implement right now to start improving your relationships. These habits are not quick fixes, but with practice, they will bring lasting change. In fact, you might find that these habits have a ripple effect, positively influencing not only your relationships, but also your overall mindset, emotional health, and even your personal growth. Relationships are not one size fits all, and there is no perfect formula, but there are fundamental principles that can help you understand the dynamics of any relationship, and that's what we're going to break down today. So, before we dive into the 5 habits, let's take a moment to think about how we typically approach relationships. Are we actively working to strengthen them, or are we passively letting them drift? Do we truly understand the needs of those we care about, or are we just reacting to situations as they arise? It's all too easy to fall into the trap of thinking that love, friendship, or family bonds should come naturally without much effort. But that's simply not true. Relationships require work, attention, and nurturing. Just like any other aspect of life that we want to improve, relationships need focus and intersectionality. That's why the 5 habits we're going to explore today are so important. They are the building blocks of successful, healthy, and fulfilling relationships. Before we start, I want you to think about one important question. What kind of relationships do you want to cultivate? Do you want to build trust, have open communication, and create a supportive environment? Or do you find yourself repeating old patterns of behavior that lead to frustration or distance between you and others? The great thing about the 5 habits we're going to talk about is that they can help you turn any relationship around. These habits are not about changing the other person. They're about you making conscious decisions to change the way you show up in relationships. By making these changes in your own behavior and mindset, you'll create an environment where healthy, positive relationships can flourish. So, let's take a closer look at these 5 transformative habits that will change your life. Relationship habits that will change your life. Number 1, practice active listening. Active listening is more than just hearing the words someone is saying. It's about fully engaging with the person, showing empathy, and ensuring that you understand their point of view. It's a skill that can significantly transform your relationships, especially when you want to strengthen your emotional connections with others. But before diving into why active listening is so essential, let's break down what it actually means and how you can apply it. At its core, active listening is about being present in the conversation. When you listen actively, you're not just waiting for your turn to speak or planning your response. You are focused on what the other person is saying and why they are saying it. It's about listening with the intent to understand, not to respond. This might sound simple, but in a world filled with distractions, it's easy to forget. In fact, research shows that people often interrupt or finish each other's sentences, which can be a sign of impatience or a lack of listening. To truly practice active listening, you need to give your full attention to the speaker. Put down your phone, stop multitasking, and give the other person the space to express themselves. Eye contact is important. Without it, you can seem disengaged or distracted. Nonverbal cues, such as nodding your head, leaning in slightly, and using facial expressions that reflect understanding, can also reinforce that you're tuned in. But active listening goes beyond just hearing the words. It's about interpreting the emotions behind those words. Try to read between the lines. Pay attention to tone of voice, body language, and facial expressions, as they often reveal more than what's said. Are they anxious, excited, frustrated? A person might say one thing, but their body language might suggest something entirely different. It's crucial to notice these signals to truly understand the message. Once you've listened, it's important to validate the other person's feelings. Acknowledge what they've shared and express empathy. You might say something like, "I can see how that situation would be really stressful," or "That must have been tough for you." This shows that you aren't just hearing their words, but also understanding their emotional experience. Empathetic listening strengthens emotional bonds and fosters trust. To enhance your active listening skills, ask open-ended questions that encourage the other person to share more. Instead of just asking, "How was your day?" try asking, "What was the highlight of your day?" or "What was the hardest part of your day?" This opens up space for deeper conversations and allows the other person to feel valued and understood. The benefits of active listening are immense. It reduces misunderstandings, lowers conflict, and allows for more genuine connections. In intimate relationships, active listening can resolve issues before they escalate into larger problems. In friendships and professional relationships, it helps you understand others better and promotes positive communication. When both individuals feel heard and understood, it's easier to create a safe space for honest discussions, which ultimately leads to stronger, more fulfilling relationships. Number 2, embrace vulnerability. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as a weakness. In reality, it's one of the most powerful tools for building deeper, more authentic connections in any relationship. Embracing vulnerability requires courage, but when practiced correctly, it can bring about a level of emotional intimacy that strengthens bonds and fosters trust. So, what does it mean to be vulnerable, and why is it essential for meaningful relationships? To be vulnerable means to expose your true self, your feelings, your fears, and your imperfections. It means letting go of the fear of judgment and allowing others to see you as you really are. Vulnerability is about showing your authentic self, even when it feels uncomfortable or risky. It's about opening up and letting someone else in, sharing your deepest thoughts, hopes, and struggles. Why is vulnerability so powerful? Because it creates a sense of emotional intimacy that is difficult to achieve any other way. When you share your vulnerabilities with someone, you show that you trust them with your innermost thoughts. This opens the door for the other person to do the same. Vulnerability is reciprocal. It invites others to show their true selves too. However, embracing vulnerability doesn't mean you have to share every aspect of your life right away. It's about finding a balance and allowing yourself to be open in appropriate ways. Start by sharing small, meaningful pieces of yourself, engaging the other person's reaction. Trust is built gradually, and by taking small steps, you can foster a deeper connection over time. Vulnerability is also about showing your emotions, both positive and negative. For example, expressing excitement about an achievement or confessing that you're feeling down can create genuine emotional connections. Being vulnerable also means being honest about your needs in a relationship. If something is bothering you, being able to express that in a vulnerable but constructive way is key to avoiding misunderstandings and resentment. Vulnerability helps prevent passive-aggressive behavior or emotional suppression, which can lead to long-term issues in relationships. Furthermore, vulnerability is not limited to romantic relationships. It's just as important in friendships, family connections, and professional relationships. By being open with others, you invite them to share their own feelings, creating a deeper level of understanding and empathy. It's also important to remember that vulnerability isn't about oversharing or seeking sympathy. It's about fostering authentic connection by being open and honest. When you embrace vulnerability, you encourage others to do the same, which creates a relationship built on trust, honesty, and emotional depth. In the long run, embracing vulnerability strengthens relationships. It helps individuals feel seen and understood, and it allows for greater empathy and compassion. Vulnerability helps us connect on a human level, reminding us that we're not alone in our struggles and joys. So, embrace vulnerability. Take that first step toward opening up and see how it transforms your relationships. Number 3, prioritize quality time together. In today's fast-paced world, finding time for meaningful connection can be challenging. Between work, social obligations, and personal commitments, it's easy to feel like there's no time left to truly connect with the people who matter most. However, prioritizing quality time together is crucial for building strong, lasting relationships. But what does quality time mean? Quality time isn't just about spending time in the same physical space. It's about being present with the other person, emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's about creating an environment where both individuals can engage deeply with each other, away from distractions. Whether it's a date night with a partner, a family dinner, or a quiet evening with friends, quality time allows for deeper connection and understanding. The key to quality time is undivided attention. In a world dominated by smartphones, it can be easy to let distractions interfere with meaningful interactions. However, setting aside time without the constant interruptions of emails, social media, or text messages is essential for truly connecting with someone. Make a conscious effort to put away your devices and focus entirely on the person you're with. This creates a sense of intentionality and shows the other person that they are your priority. Quality time is also about shared experiences. These moments, whether it's cooking a meal together, taking a walk, or even watching a movie, create memories that strengthen your bond. When you engage in activities that both of you enjoy, you reinforce your connection and create shared memories that you can look back on together. Shared experiences provide a sense of togetherness that helps people bond and feel more connected to each other. Another important aspect of quality time is being emotionally present. It's not enough to simply be in the same room. You need to be emotionally engaged. This means being open, listening attentively, and showing empathy for each other's experiences. Emotional presence allows for a deeper level of intimacy and understanding in any relationship. It's about being open to the other person's emotions and responding with care and support. In intimate relationships, quality time fosters closeness and prevents feelings of neglect or disconnection. For friendships, it helps to reinforce trust and loyalty. Even in professional relationships, prioritizing time for meaningful conversations can help build stronger partnerships and a more collaborative work environment. When you prioritize quality time, you demonstrate to the other person that they matter. It shows that you are willing to invest in the relationship, making it a cornerstone of connection and trust. As the saying goes, time is the most valuable thing we can give someone. By prioritizing quality time, you're giving the gift of your undivided attention and love. Number 4, practice empathy. Empathy is about more than just understanding someone's perspective. It's about emotionally connecting with their experience. In relationships, practicing empathy means being able to feel with the other person, putting yourself in their shoes, and responding with kindness. To practice empathy, listen carefully, not only to what someone says, but also to the emotions behind their words. Validate their feelings by expressing understanding. For example, "I can see why you'd be upset," or "That sounds really tough." This kind of response shows that you're emotionally attuned to their needs. Empathy strengthens relationships by fostering trust and reducing misunderstandings. When you understand someone else's feelings, you're more likely to communicate in ways that are caring and compassionate. In intimate relationships, empathy helps navigate difficult conversations with sensitivity and respect. It also creates an environment where both people feel comfortable expressing themselves without fear of judgment. Number 5, set healthy boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships. They define where one person's needs end and another's begin, ensuring that both individuals are respected and supported. Setting boundaries involves communicating what you are and aren't comfortable with, whether that's emotional space, time, or physical interaction. Healthy boundaries are not walls. They are guidelines that protect your well-being. They prevent feelings of burnout, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. In romantic relationships, for example, boundaries help ensure both partners maintain their individual identities while also nurturing their bond. Similarly, in friendships or professional settings, clear boundaries ensure that everyone's needs are met without overstepping. By setting and respecting boundaries, you create a relationship dynamic that promotes mutual respect and emotional safety. Boundaries also help individuals grow independently, which ultimately strengthens the relationship. It's about creating a space where both people can flourish. Conclusion. So, those are the 5 transformative habits that will change your relationships for the better. By actively listening, embracing vulnerability, prioritizing quality time, practicing empathy, and setting healthy boundaries, you're laying the foundation for stronger, deeper connections with those around you. These habits require intention and consistency, but with time, they will bring profound changes, not just to your relationships, but also to your personal growth. Before we wrap up, I want to encourage you to take action today. Start by incorporating one of these habits into your daily interactions and notice the difference it makes. Remember, relationships are a two-way street, and by showing up with these practices, you're already on your way to creating the connections you desire. If you found this video helpful and you believe these habits could transform someone else's relationships too, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep this conversation going. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below, and let's continue learning and growing together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with more tips to help you live a stoic, fulfilled life.